Hey, good morning, Desert Sands Unified School District and Desert Sands Educational followers. This is Sean Webb. I'm the Director of Community Engagement. And thank you, CoachellaValley.com, for allowing us to have classroom conversations on your page today. I'm going to go ahead and bring on Craig here. Good morning, Craig. How you doing?
Hey, I'm Craig Campbell for CoachellaValley.com. How you doing, Sean, this morning?
Oh man, it's a beautiful day out. As you can see, we got the nice clouds behind us. I just took that picture this morning. It's absolutely gorgeous here in the Coachella Valley. Can't complain.
You know, I know lots of wind, lots of things are changing. I think Chef Mary might even be talking about some storms that are still happening out here that might be coming our way. But it's unbelievable. It seems like every day you wake up, the sun is out. It's warm. It feels great, comfortable. So many people out, so many people doing stuff. And this is really a great time for us here at the Coachella Valley.
I couldn't agree with you more. Before we move on, Craig, I just want to thank our partners over at Desert Sands Educational Foundation. As you know, I'm the director there for the foundation, and they provided this platform for Desert Sands to be able to do this. And with that being said, I want to read off their mission statement because, like I said, they provided this opportunity for us. And the Desert Sands Educational Foundation, here's their mission statement. The Desert Sands Educational Foundation secures funding and awards money to provide supplemental resources that enrich and enhance student learning in Desert Sands Unified School District. They do this in partnership with public and private sectors. Desert Sands Educational Foundation financially supports creative and innovative programs that enrich and enhance the educational experience in the academics, the life, the arts, and extracurricular activities that engage all students and staff in DSUSD. And Craig, once again, I just want to say thank you for a lot. Yeah, that's a lot, right? I want to just say thank you again for allowing us to be able to present classroom conversations on CoachellaValley.com occasionally. It's great for us to be able to share all the fantastic things that are going on in the school district and what's going on in the Coachella Valley with school. This is the big deal right now. We've got some big things happening March 15th.
It's unbelievable. You know, we might hear some good news always on Tuesday. Coachella Valley might be primed to be moving into Tier 2 or red, which means that restaurants will be able to be open indoors, the museums, movie theaters, and of course, other things that are happening throughout the Coachella Valley. It's super fantastic. And I also want to say, Sean, thank you so much for the Educational Foundation and the partnership, the community partnership that we have has really allowed Coachella Valley access to be able to share things that are going on Desert Sands Unified School District and around campuses and really within the academic world here in the Coachella Valley. So I really appreciate you very much as well.
Hey, I appreciate it. And I just want to, while you're bringing it up, you talk about the partnership with Desert Sands. One of the things going on, as I said, March 15th is coming forward with coming back to school. But one of the websites that we have, I want to go ahead and highlight this here, is if you go to DSUSD.us, and we have a section here called Super Seconds. This is the information that comes straight from Mr. Bailey, our superintendent. And Craig, he gives the quick bullets. I'm sure you've seen government forms come out and government, information come out, and sometimes it's like 50, 60 pages. Luckily, Mr. Bailey kind of condenses it down for us so we can see the quick facts and how it pertains to our school district. So I just want to make sure to give that a plug. That if you want the most up-to-date information about the pandemic in Desert Sands or even the Coachella Valley, check that out. It's a lot of important information going on there.
And also these lives, Desert Sands Unified School District, the Educational Foundation running lives or doing different shows about different things. I know you showed videos about reopening, and we might even see a little bit of that again today. It's such important information. And of course, on our side, we're talking about events and we're kind of out and about showing people the town, the community, what's going on now, and being able to integrate the school openings such as the cross country, the sports. We've done sunsets, early morning sunrise, from the schools. And we're hoping that we could be a part of the graduation and streaming live. So it's really been exciting partnership. And it's great to be able to do these lives and stream and let people know in this way what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Speaking of what's going on, let's see what's going on with Chef Mary and bring her on here and see what's going on up in Big Bear. Hey, Chef Mary, good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's chilly 30 degrees here this morning.
Okay.
And the weather is predicting this snowstorm that's coming in today. And so depending on who you listen to or what map you look at, we're supposed to have anywhere from 15 to 24 inches of snow. A little while ago, it was 12 to 14. So
Okay.
Needless to say, I'm prepared. I put my snow shovel on the porch. I got my garbage cans on the porch. The car's turned around. The windshield wipers are up. And I'm going to work. I'm going to go to work today. And
Now I have a question. So when you put the shovel on the shelf on the outside, does that mean it gets covered with 2 feet of snow, so you don't have to use it, or do you bring it under the roof?
I put it onto my porch, on my top of my porch.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Up here, when the snowplow comes through, they usually plow the street, but they push all the snow in your driveway.
Yeah.
So
Have you
you
ever
have
been
2 or 3 feet of snow that you have to dig out. So you've got to get off your porch to the car to the street. So that's when I have my snow shovel.
Have you ever been stuck?
Oh yes, in my driveway. That's the only place.
I'll tell you
In
a
my
trick,
driveway.
Chef Mary, a trick from Buffalo. Okay. So my sophomore through senior year, I lived in the city of Buffalo in an apartment, and I shared a house some of the years and so forth, but we never had covered parking. And, it snows a lot in Buffalo. What a lot of us would do is, you might want to take this up, is we got large tarps, and we just throw it over the top of our car when we were expecting a snow. We tuck it underneath the wheel wells, and then when we came out in the morning, we would just pull the tarp off sometimes to get the snow off.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah, but don't pull too fast, because then the snow stays. Be careful.
Like the tablecloth on a table, everything stays.
Exactly, it's like that old trick with the table there. You gotta be careful there. So Mary, maybe there's a trick for you. I actually learned that from my father-in-law, who did it all the time in Niagara Falls. Yeah.
Well, you know what's kind of interesting, which I'll share with because we have a lot of people that listen that come up here to ski. We're coming to the end of season. They refer to it as EOS. I never heard that term before until yesterday.
Okay.
That we're having EOS, and I didn't know what they were talking about. So it's end of season, and so all of the ski shops have incredible sales on their equipment.
Oh, there we go. Craig, that's our chance to get up there and get some ski equipment.
Yeah.
Visit Chef
We're
Mary.
up there now. We're going to schedule as we speak. Let's do it live. That way she's, she can't back out.
There we go.
So I was in a ski shop yesterday, and they have all of their major brand name jackets and hats and gloves and really kind of fun whimsical shirts and whatever, and really like some $450 jackets marked down to $300.
Wow.
So it's a really good buy. So anyhow, anybody that skis, just a little plug if you want to get a deal. I think they're up until April the 4th.
Okay, I got you. So, Craig, I know that you do this all the time when you have your Sunday show. You like to highlight people that are watching. We've got Francisco here that says, "Good morning, guys."
Hey, how are you doing, Francisco? Good morning.
And then, Carol, I believe she's one of your steady followers. Maybe you could tell her what's going on here, Craig. What are we doing today?
What are we doing today? Well, today, of course, we're doing classroom conversations with Sean Webb and Mary Chef Mary. I always want to call her Mary, but I'm going to get Chef Mary because it's so important. That's my first thing. Hey, then I'm heading over to speak with Todd Marker over at the radio station a little bit afterwards. Gentleman's coming in from a restaurateur. His name is Jerry Kleiner. You might have recognized that name, Chef Mary. He's a Chicago restaurateur, been, doing it. He's a designer. He's coming into town. I get to have a little bit of dinner with him.
Oh,
so
cool.
My day's packed. I'm always enjoying what's happening. But here's a few things. Don't forget on Sunday that the clocks are going forward.
Yes.
People do not realize that we're already back at daylight savings time. So Sunday, 2 a.m. Unfortunately, the clocks are going to 3 a.m. So put that on your books. Desert X is opening up earlier. Desert X is opening up Friday. In fact, you've already seen in North Palm Springs, one of the installations, got a lot of social media because it's being put up and people were seeing it. And as it was being built, it was missing some vowels. So people were like, "Can I buy a vowel? It doesn't have A's in it." People were already, commenting about, well, it doesn't look finished. So that's very exciting. March 12th, going to be throughout the Coachella Valley. We weren't even sure that was even going to happen. And so those are some of the things that are going on. And of course, we're very excited about school openings and the things that are going to be happening. Perhaps on Monday, I think we got elementary K through 5 is going to start and come back to school. And we're going to be hopefully at an opening and show you guys live. And I know Desert Sands, of course, will too, what it's really like for those students to come in for the very first day. So that's what's on tap.
Mary, I'll tell you, I invited Craig to join with us. We're going to be out there at one of our school sites. I can't share which one, but he's going to be there right with me. And I'm joining that day with NBC Palm Springs as well as CoachellaValley.com. I'll be giving them the tour on the first day of school at one of our school sites. So it's pretty exciting that we'll be going live as well. Yeah. You
So
know what?
bring us up to date, Sean, on the openings.
Yeah.
And I think that we have a lot of listeners that are from lots of other counties and cities. So this really would pertain to Desert Sands. Is that correct? Your openings that you're going to talk about?
Yeah, this pertains to Desert Sands. You are correct. And what I want to do is I want to highlight this website that we have as well as bring it up on screen. So tonight we have a webinar going on, and I'll be on with the Assistant Superintendent of Business Services as well as with Student Support Services, where if you go to this website, DSUSD.us/in-person, you'll see all of our latest information about what's going on in regards to return to in-person learning. Tonight, we're going to go explicitly over the COVID safety plan. We're going to talk about how you enter school, how you leave school, what it looks like to eat lunch, what it looks like to pick up your lunch, your breakfast, going in between classes. We're going to be talking about that tonight. And I'll be honest, Mary, most of this is more designed for our staff, but we are encouraging our families to watch as well. We want as many people to watch as possible. And the beautiful thing is with StreamYard and with Zoom and so forth. So I'll be doing this like we're doing right now. And then Ray Kramer, who's our district translator, he's going to be showing our visual here that you guys see right now. And then he's going to be doing a voiceover with Spanish simultaneously. Think about that.
I'm sorry, Sean. I saw you. You shared last time with us a little bit of the videos. Yep. Those were fantastic. And in fact, I was so motivated. I have shared probably with at least 15 people after just seeing the little snippets that we saw last time on the show together about how it works. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't matter whether they had kids or not kids, older people or younger people. Every single person was interested in the details of really how it's going to work out. So great job, and I think very necessary. So make sure you guys go to that website. It's right there on the bottom there, DSUSD does that say US? And then
US/in-person. It's kind of funny to see you go back and forth like that.
Yeah, trying to read it.
Yeah, you know what I'll do is I'll put it in the comment section so people can also just click onto it later. But we're going to go live at 5 o'clock. Like I said, I'll be on with Laura Fisher of Student Support Services. She'll go over like the aspects of safety-wise in school and so forth, and just say a kid does get sick, she'll go over that in depth. Yeah. As well as Jordan, who's in business services, will talk about what it looks like at lunch, what it looks like on the bus and getting on the bus and taking a seat on the bus and cohorts and distances with desks and so forth. So I really encourage people to go ahead and watch that. Definitely.
Hey, Sean, I forgot to tell you something else I get to do today. I think Michael Walsh, the athletic director there at Shadow Hills High School, he and I are going to be connecting a little bit later because contact sports are back. Yep. I'm talking football, guys, here in the Coachella Valley. It's just happening so quickly. And he and I are going to talk a little bit about how we might be able to cover that and bring some information to you. I know a lot of times those games are, high school games are live streamed already and there's contractual obligations, but there's always B-roll behind the scenes and lots of things to show. And so Michael and I are going to be talking today, and hopefully Coachella Valley get an opportunity to be there and show you guys a little live football in addition to a cross-country matchup that's leading to, I think, a divisional title. So some serious competition right out of the bat. So,
and with that being said, Craig, I want to go ahead and highlight, and Mary, you'll love this. If you go to CoachellaValley.com, you'll see all the amazing articles that Craig has going on here. But one of the top ones is I'm clicking on it. This is the first hosted sporting event of the year at Shadow Hills High School.
Yep, I watched it.
Right on the main page.
It was really cool. Got a video. It's an hour-long video. We got interviews with the AD, with the coaches, with the winners, the boys and girls winners. Delaney right there with the country coach DeTombo. I think that's the way you say it. And it was really an exciting experience. And of course, there's the people that the lineup and the winners. They hosted Hemet. I think that's who came out and played against them. I didn't even know Hemet was in Desert Sands Unified School District.
So they're not a part of Desert Sands. However, what we're allowed to do according to CIF is we're able to compete against other schools that are in the same tier as us.
Well, that's great. So it's really neat to see them travel and come out. They were just as excited, motivated. Really, the camaraderie, I think, between the teams and just being out there and doing sports were really incredible, a lot of fun. Hey, one of the stories up there was Disneyland might be opening up May 1st. I mean, April 1st.
April 1st.
This is just days away. Now, of course, there's been no official anything. I think what they're really doing is saying they're ready and that they can open up, and their anticipation is to be talking about opening up. And hopefully we get some news today that might actually officially allow Disneyland and other amusement parks to open back up, of course, probably with lots of restrictions and things like that. But these are some of the great things you can find on CoachellaValley.com.
No, I love that you're able to cover just a bunch of different things. You got everything from Disneyland, you got the schools there, even live concerts that are going to be coming up and so forth. I know Mary's one for live music.
Yes, Disneyland too.
Well, Chef Mary, we just got the details of the $277 million, 300,000 square foot stadium that is absolutely going to be built. They're anticipating that it's actually going to be finished by next year. And that is Live Nation has already signed a deal, going to be bringing music there. We All-Star ice skating rink in Cathedral City, the only ice skating rink we had.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, now this is going to become the ice skating rink as well, because minor league NHL hockey is going to be utilizing it. So that's awesome. Super exciting as well.
Yeah, I know with the ice skating rink, a really good friend of mine's, Scott Driscoll, he was the original Olympic winners when they were there. There were 3 Scotties, I think, at one point, and he's an instructor there, and super nice guy. And I've seen videos of ice skating events there and teaching young people how to ice skate. And it's just incredible. I mean, the amount of strength and to be out on the ice and to skate with a professional Olympic person, pretty cool.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We used to have an ice skating rink in the Westfield Mall. I don't know if you remember that, Sean, at all. You're probably too young for that, but that was really cool. Right there in the mall, right there in the middle, and it was sad to see that go. And then it moved to Cathedral City, which was great. At least there was still an ice skating rink, and now we got a $277 million ice skating rink being built right there in Palm Desert, right near the Desert Classic. And I-10, so that's where it's going to be.
Right next to Classic Club over there.
Classic Club.
I love that it's going to be in this. I love that it's going to be in the center of the desert, and we're going to have a lot of opportunity. Even more so, I think it would have been great in Palm Springs when they were originally planning it, but I love that it's going to be right accessible to I-10. Think about
Me too.
Yeah,
I mean, you're going to see it.
Traffic situation alone is going to be nice.
It seems the advertising is going to be better. You'll be able to see this big stadium out there and wonder, what is it? If you've ever been to Las Vegas, and you're on the 15, you just drive right by the Vegas football team stadium. It just hangs over the freeway.
It does.
But it's really cool. I don't know if ours will be quite that large, but I think it's still going to be, it's a lot of desert out there. So it's certainly going to be highly visible, I think, from a long way away.
Oh, yeah. So I want to share with you guys, last night we had an online event for an organization that we partner with. It's called DAXA. They're the Desert Association of California School Administrators. And what they did is they honored a student at every school last night called Every Student Succeeding. And we had that go on last night. It was on YouTube. We had the elementary version at 5:30. We had the middle school and high school version at 6 o'clock. And I just have to say that Dr. Cook, Dr. Paisano, and Mrs. Owings from the different school sites, and Dr. Cook with our leadership department did an amazing job with this video. Craig, you'll love this. We had, almost 40 students honored. And out of those 40 students honored, we had a couple hundred views because we only expected that the family would watch, right? But only 40 and then over 200 views. I think that's pretty awesome. So it's great to see our community watching and hearing about our student stories. And if you go to, if you were to follow Dr. Cook, you'd actually see this on her Twitter page where you can click both of the links for the different times. And it's just a great event where they're honoring students from all the different school sites. And they're talking about something that they may have overcome in their life. And I'll tell you, the student that they talked about at Palm Desert High School, I was actually there 2 years ago as an assistant principal. I got to know this young man. He's a senior. But if you remember a couple of years ago, about 10 years ago, there was a horrible accident over at Lincoln Elementary where a student lost a leg. That young man is now a senior. That young man has played high school football.
Oh, wow.
I'm getting chills thinking about this.
I am too, listening.
He's very accomplished academically. And Mr. Zink said he's got a future in next year with college and so forth. So just to hear those types of stories, it's just a great uplifting event. So I highly recommend, if you get a chance, go ahead and watch that.
So Sean, tell us about your school openings, and because it's the next couple of days or so?
Yeah, so as I shared earlier, it's awesome. Craig and I are going to have the opportunity on the first day of school, which will be March 15th. We just had a question come in here, and I just want to make sure that they're aware what schools are covered in what district. So Sarah, I'm from Desert Sands Unified School District, and basically we cover from Bob Hope to Van Buren. So we're Rancho Mirage border, Palm Desert, all the way to the Coachella Indio border. There's 34 schools, but our K through 5 schools are going to open up March 15th in a hybrid. So Mary, how that works is just say Madison, we're going back. She'd either be in the A group or the B group. So the A group is going to go Monday, Tuesday. Everybody's synchronous learning. Everybody's on virtual learning on Wednesday. And then she's going to be at home on Thursday, Friday, whereas that group that was at home on Monday, Tuesday will be in class on Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
So things over like that. The way the agreement is and the way the school board went ahead and approved everything last week at the meeting was as soon as we meet the criteria of the county, then we can move forward with secondary. So that would be 6 through 12. And one of the agreements that we have with our school district Teachers Association is that we have to give 7 days notice. So just say we get notification today, okay, the first we can do is 7 days from today. Do I see that actually happening? I find that hard to believe that we would start on a Tuesday, but I'll tell you, you never know. We're looking forward, and we're really excited to get kids back on campus. We'll have official notification later today once we get the numbers, once we hear them from the county.
So Sean, with the upcoming Easter holiday, will they still acknowledge that same holiday time frame?
Oh yeah, you kidding me? We're still taking vacations. Kids have been in school the full time. Teachers have been teaching the whole time. I'll tell you, we need some recharge of batteries. Most definitely.
So
Hey,
it
I
will.
just want to chime. Oh, go ahead.
It'll definitely be a part in school and part hybrid for a while.
Yes. Yeah. We'll be in hybrid up until we're told that we can move on. But like I said, the school board made the decision based on county regulations and so forth. And Sarah just asked, yes, this is just for Desert Sands. We've got a great partnership with Craig that allows us to do so. And I know Craig's itching at the bit. Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. So what ended up happening is when you're in tier 1, which is what we're in, different schools, Desert Sands and other schools, needed to put forward a plan on how to open up, and Desert Sands did that early. The other 2 school districts in our valley, I'm not sure exactly what the status is, but you guys had already done this ahead of time. So when we got off the stay-at-home order, I think it was like January 26th or something like that, and we went back to tier 1, that plan that you guys had already put in place that was approved then was able to be pushed and moved. That's why you guys are kind of ahead of things as we speak. When we move to tier 2, red, which is about to come up, I believe that all school districts can open up without that original plan that you guys had to submit. But even then, I know how much time it's taken to work out the logistics. So it's one thing to say we're going to open. It's another thing to implement all the rules, regulations, and different protocols that are now in place. And so the other 2 districts are coming along, but Desert Sands is the only school district that will be opening up that I know of here on March 15th.
Yep, you're correct, Craig. I know that Palm Springs had their school board meeting, and I believe they voted to come back the Monday after spring break. I believe that's April 12th for them. CV Unified, I'm not sure what they're doing in regards to their hybrid learning and so forth, but I did see on the news today that they're doing a swap out with their technology. I know that some students had iPads that might have been a little bit older and outdated, but they're doing a swap out with that. So I know that each of the school districts, we're working our best you know, we're all living through this pandemic for the first time. Chef Mary, I know they're up in the mountain. You guys have got to adjust and pivot almost by the minute all the time. So we're all doing the best we can. Yeah.
Well, and I think here too, Sean, that we don't have the number of students to manipulate through the system. You know, the schools are smaller and the classroom size are smaller. And, you know, I think there's like 4 or 5 different schools up here for different levels. So I think it's easier for them to sort of go into a hybrid or to keep the students away from each other because there's not the numbers like we have at La Quinta High School. There's like 5,000 students or something like that over there.
You're going too far, Mary. There's just about 2,500 over there.
But it feels like 5,000. I'm going with that, Chef Mary. Just going with it.
Hey, speaking of that, I want to let you know, when we were talking about when we're going to do school visits and so forth, Mayor Evans is watching. Hopefully we cover a La Quinta school. I will share with you, Mayor Evans, I will not be going to a La Quinta school, but there will be another team. And I know that Mary Perry and Jen Dees and our communication teams will be doing that too. I want to go ahead and give you some more shout outs, Craig. I know you like to pull up the comments here. Let's see here. You know, Kim, I wish I could answer about short-term rentals, but I really don't have a say on that. They're talking about short-term rentals behind La Quinta Resort. Yeah, I wish.
Well, that'll be next show. We'll bring out. We'll make a deal with the hotel, and we'll be bringing you short-term rental news next time.
Well, you know what? Mayor Evans is watching, so I'm sure she's. When that excellent comment came up, I'm guessing that's in regards to us having a school that's going to be covered in La Quinta on the first day. I do want to point out, you know, one of the platforms that we're on is Gerald Ford Elementary School, and we want to thank Mr. Preston. He's done a great job with building their social media live and so forth. And we want to just give him a little shout out because one of his families is giving him a shout out. I don't know if you know Mr. Preston, Craig, but I got to introduce you to him. He does this every Friday morning, and the entire school watches his StreamYard. So when I say the entire school, so imagine all of his teachers, there's 30-some teachers there, and then he pushes it out to the teachers to push it out to all their students. So all of their students, all of their families, they watch the stream. And Mr. Preston's done an outstanding job with this.
Well,
and,
we're behind, Sean. We're going to have to hustle and send out our email newsletter to these teachers and let them know there's other opportunities to stream and watch as well.
There we go. There we go. And then lastly, you know, she's been asking a bunch of questions all throughout, and Sarah just put this up here. And Sarah, you know, that's why we're here. I want to make sure that you guys get the most up to date.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It's comments like that I know that drive Craig and drive us to keep on doing what we're doing. Stuff.
So, would you recap are they still going to have pickup lunches and things like that? You know, when we were doing that, would you kind of recap that and see how that's going to work once they go back?
Yeah, so I was actually, you know, when I get to come on here on Tuesdays, I get to duck out of one of the meetings. And I heard before I left with the principals, Dan Capello, our nutritional services, as you know, Mary, which, by the way, we served over 3 million meals as of February. So I can only imagine what that number is now since pandemic. But Dan shared with us, once school starts, because we're going to have so much traffic and everything going on, what's happening now is they get meals on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 to 9:30. Once school starts next week, that just goes to Wednesday for meal pickup. But this is what'll happen. They're going to walk out of there like with Costco bags because they're going to get 7 days of breakfasts and 7 days of lunches.
Oh, my God.
Walk out with large bags. So that's what we'll do, Mary, another time. And, you know, Craig, maybe we'll get you involved with this too. What we did last time we had a large bag of food is we brought it to Chef Robertson, and he gave us some ideas on what to do with it, as well as some of our families. They went ahead and they created, like, you know, if you get 7 days of apples, that's a lot of apples. They made apple pies and they showed pictures, and they made cookies and they showed pictures of it. So they got creative with the stuff that's coming in our meals.
Well, you know what? Oh, I'm sorry. You know, it was really cool. I saw one of your providers, Mark, cvharvestbox.com, and in fact, we highlighted them at the marketplace.
Yes.
And I had a tour. Mark took me down to his facility there, and I understand they have an incredible relationship with Desert Sands Unified School District. You could probably speak more to that, Sean, about we're talking about food and what's going into it, and dates are a part of that.
No, Mary knows too. Our relationship with Mark has gone far back. Why don't you tell a little bit about Mark and his family, Mary? Well,
you know, Craig, when I first met, actually, I met Mark online through a phone before we had online in, oh my gosh, 2006 or 7. And he was judging, we had this Pro Start program, and the kids would go to competition in the state of California, and then they would compete with the group in the state of California. Then we would go national and then compete nationwide with other schools from other states. And Mrs. Tucker ran the program, and we actually won like 4 or 5 years in a row. But Mark was, I think he was working at another company. I can't remember what it was, but he was, but wasn't able to come down. So I was taking pictures of the food, and he was looking at it. And I had been in competition before, so we were, working together with this food thing. And then finally, it was too difficult to kind of manage it that way. But his mother, Elaine, was the culinary instructor prior to me coming in as a volunteer. And I think Mrs. Tucker took over that position. And they were in this classroom called 7-Eleven. Well, when I got there, they always said, we have to go to 7-Eleven. And I thought they were going to the store. And I went, why are we going to 7-Eleven? I didn't realize it was the number of the door on the school. It took me a while. But that's how we met Mark. I mean, that's how we met his mother, Mrs. Tadros. And then actually I saw Elaine at the market on Sunday, and that was good to see her because she was instrumental in developing that program when it was a little teeny tiny classroom before we moved to the culinary stadium. So it goes years.
And what's great is CV Harvest Box, as we've been saying, is a great partner of Desert Sands Educational Foundation. For those of you who don't know, we have the Recognize It program for Desert Sands, where we recognize our own staff, community recognizing staff, students recognizing staff, and staff recognizing one another. And each of the months that we have our nominations, we had 100 nominations last month. We draw for 2, and they get a CV Harvest Box. So this is their website here. It's pretty amazing. One of the coolest things on here is you can buy La Quinta High School soap as one of their products. You can also get, you could do a monthly shipping, you could do a weekly shipping, where they're going to bring fresh produce right to your house. And
hey, you know what, Mark? Mark told me that he had 11 or 12 signups the day that we were there. So how exciting that for CV Harvest Box. Yeah. Also, I just wanted to say, it was a very important thing for their company as well, because at the time, dates were, he just didn't realize that when the restaurants all stopped serving and different parties, weddings, and so on, people were not ordering dates. You can imagine how many restaurants add dates into different, whether that's salads or different types of things. All that disappeared. So all of a sudden, he and the rest of the date industry out here had surplus dates. And it just ended up being, that special one thing led to another, and he was able to apply that dates maybe could be put into the lunches, and it ended up being something that was so perfect. And he was able to package and just do some things in his facility. And as a result, now he is delivering dates to, I think, most of the school districts out here. And as a result, I think it's really helped their business as well. So, it's interesting what comes out of a pandemic and the changes that happen. This, I don't believe, would have ever been in existence. CV Harvest Box, perhaps, but not the relationship with the school district. So there you go.
It was pretty amazing. We were having a conversation, Mark and I. He's like, I need to get dates. I've got this surplus. And he's talking about not just dates, but he's talking about surplus of agriculture throughout the Coachella Valley. Because a lot of times the stuff that's grown here goes out of the Coachella Valley, doesn't stay here. Well, it wasn't leaving. And a lot of the farmers were being told, just let your crops die. And that was unacceptable to him. So once again, I'm going to share, I'm getting chills thinking about it. When he made the transition, met with Dan Capello, that exponentially grew his business. When I say exponentially grew, he went from having, sending out pound boxes of dates, a couple hundred at a time, to now setting up 40,000 2-ounce packages of dates. Yeah, 50,000 2-ounce packages of dates. That was his regular order. I'm kicking myself. We didn't ask for a penny per for the foundation. That would have been a great fundraiser right there. Now he's carried in Beaumont, I want to say in Redlands, all 3 school districts out here. Palm Springs Unified, I think, with their meal distribution, they actually get a CV Harvest Box. It's just been great to see these things kind of form during pandemic.
92% of all dates grown, I believe, in the United States, grown right here in the Coachella Valley. I mean, when you think about stats like that, it's amazing. I mean, that means if you get a date anywhere in the United States, it's probably been picked and probably been grown right here on our soil. And that's very cool to see that industry kind of surviving by being creative. And not only that, really giving a super beneficial, and of course, Chef Mary can talk about just dates and the qualities and the nutrition value.
Yeah, I mean, it's an incredible product to work with, as an appetizer or, putting it into a cake or, I mean, date nut bread, date nut shakes. That is the epitome of the date for me, is the date nut.
It's liquid sugar and gold.
Oh my gosh, yeah. There's one coming out of Palm Springs as you head up to Desert Hot Springs, the Winfield Farm little store. And they do date nut shakes in there. And they are so good. You have to stop there every single time and support that little guy.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to tell you, I saw the video that Ann sent about the cupcake, all the cupcake things. And it was pretty impressive. The video and how they set it up and the young people that took it from scratch and the creativity from first through sixth graders, I believe it was.
First through sixth graders. Some were even transitional kindergarten, Mary. And
I know. It was, it's a big shout out to the parents that allow that to go on, because I know when I work with Madison, sometimes the kitchen gets destroyed. To take the time to set it up and video it and have all the product there and let them go at it on their own. It was pretty incredible. And the creativity was over the top for me as a culinary person. I thought, geez, how do these young kids, they know more than we know anymore in the industry? It was good. So I was glad she sent me the email on that. I appreciated it.
Awesome. I want to tell you, we have some more live viewers here. Let's see here. We've got one of our own Desert Sands Educational Foundation board members. This is pretty awesome. She's saying thank you for the great information. And you know what? We want to make sure that all comments are displayed as possible. Mr. Lee, I'll tell you, why don't we get kids back to school and start teaching the kids? Well, I'm happy to say we've been teaching the kids since the whole school year. We've been doing virtually. And I'm very happy to say that come the 15th, we'll have them back hybrid, and we'll be the first public school in Riverside County to do so. So I'm very happy to say that. Let's see. This is a question from Sarah, and I want to try and address as much as possible. Give me a second here. So those are all great questions, Sarah. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put up the link for our website for our social emotional learning that we've actually, Chef Mary will tell you, we've done a couple of things with our counselors in our student assistance program, haven't we, Mary? We've done exact specials just to talk about what's available for our students and so forth during these times. So Sarah, I'll make sure to put that link in the comments here so you can check that out yourself. It talks about the available things that we have in the district, as well as things available for the community. But go ahead.
Hey, I want to remind anybody that might be watching this show after, because of course people will be seeing this even after the live because it replays over and over. Make sure to put your comments in there anyway, because we're checking those comments and answering questions really throughout the week on all these lives. It's just a great way to continue the conversation, and we know that people that aren't seeing us here live now might see that replay, but don't be afraid to go ahead and put anything in the comment, questions and things like that, so that we can respond accordingly.
And I want to just pull up this website real quick. So this is DSUSD.us. If you come on here and you see all the quick links, you just go to social emotional wellness. It takes you to a plethora of available resources that we have for the district that talk about all these different things that are available for our students, for our families, and so forth. So we can't, I can't say enough about these resources that we have, and then our counseling department, our student support services. Like I said, I'm going to be on with Laura Fisher later today to talk about all the things that are going on, and she's going to be addressing those things too. So I definitely encourage you to come on tonight and watch us at dsusd.us/in-person.
Yeah, a big shout out to this comment, because this is the reason that we're on the show.
Yep.
Is to let them know when they have a question how they can find this information, and to come forward and ask about it is pretty admirable, because I think a lot of us particularly if we're just a caregiver or grandparents or whatever, we're sometimes not in those loops, or if we're working. So I applaud her, her or him. I didn't see that. I applaud that comment that they've come forward and asked those questions, because it lets us be able to show them that information. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. That was awesome.
I agree completely. And I'll say that Reggie is still asking about school and so forth and saying that we need to be back ASAP. I'll say, who is it, Mr. Reggie Lee? We're doing the best we can. We're working with the county, and as the county allows us, we're moving forward. Like I said, we're one of the first districts in Riverside County that is able to open up, and we're very proud of that. So we're going to be doing that on Monday, the 15th. And you'll be able to see it live with us too, right, Craig?
Well, you guys put that plan out, a couple months ago. This is actually how long it takes once the plan was put out to buy the equipment stuff, tables. I mean, just the distancing as an example for lunch required lots of tables to be purchased so that the children could be distanced properly and eat in a safe manner and to meet the guidelines. Well, just to procure those tables, you can just imagine the time that it takes for something as simple as that. And that was just one little dinky aspect of returning. So it's been a long process up to this point in time. Desert Sands School District, the Bravo was that they really did start earlier to anticipate that it would take this kind of time. So as we're seeing other school districts mention, maybe after Easter, it's not that they aren't, they want to open up sooner. It's just that it just takes a lot. And then comes all this communication. You have to now educate the family members, the teachers and the students, and also get all that input as well. So it's a process, but it's happening. And it's going to be continuing to happen throughout California and certainly through our school districts here.
I agree. Mary, before we wrap up, you have anything else you want to share in regards to the mountain and so forth, or just in general?
No, I'm just really glad we have these comments that come in. These people are watching, because it does make us aware of what those questions are and how we can address it. And so I applaud them that they listen and ask questions, and we have the resources to help them, navigate the system, because it is complicated. When you've got several kids going to several different schools and different grades, how you're going to manipulate your morning to get everybody out the door. I applaud these parents that have to do that, because I just have to worry about myself. I can't imagine trying to get first, third, fifth graders, off to a schedule and then try to manage their day as well. So I applaud these people. I really, truly do.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. And I just want to go ahead, and this is one of our families that's watching. They got a fourth grader and they can't wait to be back in school. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
And then, Miss Sanchez, I don't know, what is it, said we're awesome, and she loves that we're giving this information. Like we said, we want to try and give as much information as possible. I'll be the first to say, not everybody's going to agree with what's going on in the school system, and that happens. But we're doing the best we can with what we have. I'll say that, definitely.
You know what, Sean? Part of our job here at Coachella Valley as a media company, media group, is to share information. It's not necessarily that the information we share that we agree. It's just that it's so important. Obviously, if you have a child in Desert Sands Unified School District, to be educated, to learn what's going on, and like the other school districts, not available people want to know, exactly why. And I think that's where we can come in and fill in some of those, that little bit of information and facts. And of course, people can make their own, opinions and choices. But just because we cover something in media doesn't necessarily mean that we agree or disagree. It's just a part of our job. And we try to do it with as least amount of adjectives and adverbs as possible, and just put the facts and the information out there. And then people can consume it. And then they can react to it and do whatever that they need to do and put it into their lives. When you have a discussion, though, and people are putting comments out there, some of the information is relevant, and what we're doing here, people need. So,
yeah, and I think they have to realize that we're all in the same boat. With family members that are in school, there's still the same questions that we have, and some of the levels of frustrations and the whys and the whys nots. And being with this program, it clears it up for us as well, as a parent and a grandparent. And then we can ask questions from that point of view just as Sarah did, from her point of view. I've probably brought those questions up in the past.
Yep.
So I think it gives them this information and to let them know that it's important to us as well, because we need to have a life and our kids need to go back to school.
Yep. And lastly, before we close out here, I just put it in the links there, and I want to show it on screen. We do have the available link here. If you'd like to ask a question of any of our cabinet members, and we are responding to those, they're doing the best they can, as well as it's giving us information for when we have these webinars. It helps drive our conversation. So if you have a question about the return to in-person learning, I suggest that you go ahead and put in a comment there. That is available, and I also put in comments here too. We want to be able to help you out as much as possible, and we can only do that if you communicate back with us. So we ask you to do that. But with that being said, Craig, once again, thank you this morning for allowing us to present on CoachellaValley.com.
My pleasure.
I tell you, Chef Mary and I just get giddy because every time we get the opportunity to be with you, we know that our show is just exponentially being watched even more over, not just in the Coachella Valley, but in the world. So thank you very much for that.
Exactly.
I was excited too every time, you invited me again, and I just responded yes immediately. I don't think I looked at my schedule. Probably should have done that first. But it was, I love being on the show, and it's just a lot of fun. And when I get off, I just feel excited for, the entire day after being with you too.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that we have this avenue to put information out, because it is a difficult time, and to have this information come out to the parents and the children and whatever, it makes me feel good that we're moving something forward.
Yes.
That's
all we got to keep on doing. Keep on moving forward.
Exactly.
The story says, and I've been watching more and more of these types of things. Keep on swimming. Keep on swimming. Hey guys, you have a great day. Everybody
You
out there.
too.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Craig. Bye, Sean.
You wear your mask and wash your hands. Have a great
See you,
day.
Chef Mary. Bye, Sean.
See ya.
Bye.